So now we are selling Derp Coin at the Octagon.
And tell me now, why can't they just buy Derp Coin from us?
In life, people tend to take the path of least resistance when making decisions.
Oh, quiet, Philosopher X. Get to the point already.
Well, it's pretty simple. If you're here and you don't have Derp Coin, are you going to fly all the way over to us just to buy some?
Well, I certainly would. Who wouldn't want to buy Derp Coin at my glorious evil empire?
But you're not everyone, and you're not a hermit.
Well, I wouldn't want to be, but I guess you're right.
So Doc let me build another wonderful Derp Coin spinning contraption thing that you told me to build. I built another one over here.
Wonderful, wonderful. This will certainly provide a rush of dopamine, yes. This is almost too good to be true. Our own Derp Coin spinner, in the heart of someone else's shopping empire? Did this cost anything?
Yeah, I made a deal with Doc. He gets half of the diamonds.
You did what?
I thought it was a good deal, okay?
This is not okay. This is very bad. We shouldn't be making deals with other hermits.
He said he would buy another staking pass too, so there's that.
Unacceptable. You are a fool. Huh? What's going on here?
It wouldn't be right for me to back out on a deal, right? Because a deal's a deal. We practically shook on it.
Not when it's a bad deal.
Look, I've got another idea to make Derp Coin even better for our customers. I'll make up for this. I promise, okay?
This was not part of the plan. Oh, well, what happened there then? Has he developed some sort of resistance? Does the axolotl know of my plans? Why am I talking to myself? Oh, God, I'm so lonely.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I've been doing my due diligence over here at the Evil Empire, restocking our shops, and now it's time to collect some profits. But I've just got to ask, what happened to the trapdoor that was here, and why is there now like a spruce wood block in this spot? Okay, there's nothing bad down there, that's very good. Anyway, look at this, we have made some profits, but the question that I am asking is, why wouldn't you buy the cheaper ones first? You know? Someone's brought out all the mid-range price Derp Coin, and over here we made a few more diamonds, and also, a diamond block. So we make our repairs, and then we head over to the Derp Coin spinner. I heard that Corrales had been here again recently, and it looks like that is so. Oh yes, another 21 diamonds. And that's a stack and a half of diamonds, and do you know what? It feels like business has really been picking up around here lately. So next stop for us is the Octagon, as we've got another Derp Coin spinner contraption to get up and running. But look at the view behind me there. This area has just turned out so amazing. And Cub Fans continues to evolve as well. I am so impressed with what he's been doing here, including creating an entire lava lake / river. Look at it. This project is simply ginormous. So here it is, coming into view, the Octagon. And last time I was over here, I sort of avoided showing this. Doc was working on it at the time. That is just a bridge. That's all that is, but it is one of the most spectacular and wild bridges I think that I've ever seen. This place looks great in the day, and it looks great at the night time as well. Wow. What an atmosphere it has. And do you know what else it now has? The Derp Coin Sweeper, which is the name I've given to this contraption. So it is all set up and ready to go. There is some additional redstone in there for splitting up the diamonds between me and Doc. Or should I say between Evil X and Doc, who wasn't too happy about this contraption. So we're going to make it up to Evil X by adding something very valuable for the Derp Coin over in this space. But first of all, let's see the contraption in action. We kind of finished all the redstone last time, but have actually finished stocking up all of the Derp Coin. So it is ready to go, and we're going to give it a few spins. Oh, that is so satisfying. Wow. 3 derp coin on the first one. Dang. We're getting some good odds here. And yeah, we lucked out. We beat the odds. We should have got 4, we got 5. And that's the fun of this thing over here. And do you remember we had a hopper here and I was talking about opening it up to collect the derp coins that go in? Well, yeah, many of you pointed it out in the comments. That hopper was completely unnecessary. I think it was just a design hangover. So I replaced it with a barrel and now that problem is gone from the contraption. So for new customers heading into the area, there's the derp coin block to catch their eye, some signs and the instruction book. So over here it just tells you to place your diamonds in the barrel and collect all of your winnings after. But yeah, also we explained the odds, so it's very clear and very fair. So we need to split all of the profits that this thing makes, and we're going to do that using redstone. And I actually engineered this entirely inside of my axolotl brain. What I mean is, I made it without actually going into a Minecraft world or interacting with any redstone. I made it in my brain. So this is the contraption right here. It's pretty easy to understand actually. We're just going to move the redstone block back and forth each time that a diamond comes in. And luckily for us as well, it's not a steady stream like if I were to drop a whole bunch in at once. It comes through in pulses, which really makes the redstone contraption a lot simpler. But anyway, I designed this in my mind and then I realized, oh yeah, we kind of need the one on the other side to push out. So the way to look at this is that this hopper here is locked, and so it's going to go through this one when an item comes into the chest. So then this comparator activates, but yeah, it's just going to leave the redstone block where it is. Luckily, we can resolve this just by changing the pistons over to sticky pistons. So if I drop this diamond into here, you'll see that this time it pulled the redstone block across. And if I drop in another one, then the other side pulls it across. And that means for every diamond that comes through, it'll end up in a different chest. We've got one in here. Well, we've got a few from testing. Let's do another test. So as I put these in, you can see the redstone block just going back and forth there in the bottom left corner. And now those 8 diamonds that I put in have been evenly distributed. And now it's signposted so we know whose is whose. So EvilX is going to get their cut of the diamonds, but I do need to make sure that he is happy with this arrangement. So I have come up with a great way to make the derp coin experience even better over here, and that is by adding the derp coin exchange. So what I've realized is the only thing you can spend over here is premium derp coin. That seems to be the thing that the other hermits are interested in more than regular derp coin. So when you use the sweeper over here, you're going to get your hands on lots of the regular stuff and then maybe not sure what to do with it. So as it says in this book, the only place on Hermitcraft where you can trade in derp coin for premium derp coin. You may remember we actually did that back at the Evil Emporium some time ago, but then we eventually removed it. And this time there is no contraption, it is just a simple interaction with a dropper. You can drop in 24 of the regular and take out 1 premium. So after an average of 3 spins over here, you'll be able to trade in that derp coin and then get an extra premium one. Although as you can see, deliberately there is a limited supply. And the reason that there's observers down below is I was just trying to match the aesthetic from one side to the other, but then I had this cool idea that you could put item frames in front of them and activate them when you click on them. Which, you know, people are curious, they'll probably click on these. However, it doesn't actually activate the observers, which is a bit of a shame if you ask me. But there is something else that will activate them that you can just sort of click on and leave alone, which is repeaters. And I bet you, when hermits see this, they'll be like, what's these repeaters about? And they'll click them. And you're probably wondering as well. But by the way, let's just go on a tangent for a second. Look at the amount of copper that there is in this back area here. And that is obviously for the decoration in this area, but I love that it's just a small part of it. Like all of that copper just for a small part of the visual is kind of insane. Anyways, what I thought would be fun to have out the back here is some note blocks. And now, if you're curious, it's a little bit of a musical experience. And the problem is, when you power this one, you're actually playing a chord of these 3 notes. And now, isn't that way more satisfying? That sounds much nicer. Pretty cool. I confess, I need to do more musical things in this game. It's so much fun. And one final parting touch. I think this area probably needs an ender chest, right? And what better place to put it, like the one over there. And with that, I think our business here is conducted for the day. So before the Octagon, we were flying over Cubs Canyon, admiring the view, and something that really should have popped out at me didn't. And, well, it's kind of hidden behind that at the moment, so maybe that's why. But yes, look at that. What is this? Well, first of all, if you're not informed, this is the Leaf Spleef game, and that is a giant golden drip leaf. And it, my friends, is a rather gorgeous looking build. And so there is going to be a tournament of the Leaf Spleef game. Over here is where you sign up. So far we got Cub and we got Jevin, and I believe the idea is that you also drop off a shulker box with prizes in. So we got Dripstone. Over here we got Pointed Dripstone. You can see at the top it says a Leaf Spleef Champion. And then Jevin's dropped off these Wither Skulls, which makes it into quite an extraordinary prize. So who would I be if I didn't take this moment to promote the derp coin? I have got a rather interesting prize put together. This is going to be some premium derp coin and a derp key as well. So hopefully we can get more people staking the derp coin. And now it's time to put my renamed paper into the barrel and address a rumor that's been going on this server, okay? There's the sun. There's the sun. That's me zooming in on the sun. That's the moon. Yeah. Wait. This is supposed to be a rumor. My goodness me, look at the size of that thing. And there it is, now setting. And there's the sun. I think these rumors, they might be true. Well, that is something that I need to investigate further. And I also need to get some practice rounds on this game, as I haven't actually played it yet. But I love the concept. Ooh. Maybe I'll be able to arrange something, but while we wait, I've been starting work on a project deep underground. This project relates to copper because I have a copper farm. I've been using it for personal use. However, it seems to be a constant thing on this server that people are asking for copper to be sold. Maybe I should be getting in on the copper game, as I don't need any of this stuff anymore. The problem is that's quite a lot of stuff that needs to be weathered to then be sold, because the thing is you sell it when it's green. I mean, I could just sell it like this, but you know, then we wouldn't have a reason to do a fun project, and that project is going to take place down here under my base, where you can see I've been clearing out some space. Now, all props here should go to Tango Tech for the inspiration. I saw him do something like this earlier on in the season, using a branch mine to place down copper blocks to let them oxidize and then collect them later. And how far he got with that idea, I'm not entirely sure, but I've been thinking it over again, and I kind of want to figure this out. We're going back and checking out his video, as it's kind of an interesting challenge. And it is specifically the idea of automating this that I find to be the most challenging. But it is possible that I've got the wrong approach here. Anyway, the idea is that we want to automatically mine these blocks and have them pushed out to us as well once they've weathered. So if we have a water stream going in a straight line and we just leave ourselves AFK clicking like this, then we're going to come through, not breaking these blocks hopefully, and then breaking that. And there is a trapdoor at the back precisely because it will take longer to break. And then we keep on moving and we break the next one. But this is kind of like a lot of effort for going AFK for something that probably won't take too long. But then, you know, how many stacks of this stuff are we actually trying to get at one time? There are quite a lot of variables to consider here, and adding in water streams feels like a lot of effort and possibly a lot that could go wrong for something that you're probably not going to use a lot, you know? I'm going to go through, place all these blocks. That's another thing you could consider as well. This part could sort of be automatically done as well. You could be going through your water stream, holding down right click, and look, I can't place any blocks here now until I get to the next bit. So, lots to think about here. This was indeed supposed to be a simple little project, but now I think I'm going to take the time to think it over a bit more. So I think this turns out to be rather simple. One of the things that we don't actually need are these additional signs, because the way we're going to move through this thing is by sort of leaning slightly to the left as you move right. So when you hold down right, you're always going to be pressing into this block. That means if you're holding down right click, you're not able to place a block unless it's inside of this gap. So the other question is, can we mine the blocks when doing that? And I've also disabled my beacon so that I don't have haste. So I'm just going to look forward and hold down left click, and we actually mine all of these blocks. The one problem is though that we don't pick any of them up, but they do get put onto the ground here. So the next step could then be to actually just dig this out and have a rail down below that goes along and collects the items when you get to the end. So clicker or no clicker, you can just kind of hold down left click to mine, and then you can hold down right click to place. And I had to remove the trapdoor. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, because obviously right click would interact with the trapdoor. So now we've got stairs back there. And the final question is, why do it down at the bottom of the world? Well, I think the thinking that Tango had was that you probably don't want to build this up on the surface, and if you're going to do some digging, why don't you do it down at diamond level? And so, my friends, I'm back over here again, because if we're going to sell this stuff, then we need to get serious about it and start AFKing for copper again. And that's when I had a eureka moment and realised that I'm AFK in this spot of the world for a long time, and that's time that copper could be using to oxidize. So the place for us to build this contraption, if we can call it that, is down there at the bottom of the world. But most importantly, in this location where I AFK for hours on end, and then all of the copper that we're farming can easily oxidize. This is the perfect location to combine these projects. And this session, by the way, has lasted a rather long time if we use the counter up the top there, because I haven't flown, and it's yielded us a whole double chest of copper ingots. Alright, so at the back of this room we have our trapdoor to get to the area below. This is actually here to collect slime balls, because we have this super simple lazy slime farm back here, but it's over at this spot that I've been digging out a ginormous area. This thing is 5 chunks across and just a couple deep at the moment here, so my thinking is let's build it so it goes left to right and then just crack on with it, and we'll fill up this space, and hey, if we need more we can just dig this away in that direction. So all of this is taking a lot of time, and I've had another AFK overnight session, but you can see that I've also started building this thing and putting some of the copper blocks in the area. So overnight I get just over 3 stacks, so it kind of makes sense to make this thing have the capacity for 3 stacks. But the really cool thing is, during that session, all of the copper that I placed before I went AFK has converted, which is a really good sign for this project. And I've got to admit it, as I walk back and forth, breaking these and picking them up, I'm kind of thinking like, this is it. Maybe it really doesn't need much more automation than that. If you wanted to do this yourself, you could pretty much just put down a grid of blocks in the ground to sort of remind you where to place them when it comes to placing them again. Yeah, maybe I should have gone for that way of doing this. So with all of those blocks picked up, it kind of shows us that we probably need to at least increase the area by 1/3. So that means more digging over the back here. And this thing is going to take me a long time to put together. But actually, let's focus on the bright side here. I mean, look at that. It's fully oxidized, which is great. But then again, I do have stacks upon stacks of copper at the moment. So we have about 8 rows coming towards us here, and then from one side to the other, I'm guesstimating it's about 24, which would total 4 stacks of copper. So I think I've done enough of this for now. As you can see, I'm just starting with this simple shape so that we can get the layout all in place. Now we've got to place in all of those plank blocks. And with that now done from side to side and back to back, we are ready for the next bit, which is placing down the rails. And here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to dig a trench that is 2 blocks deep, and then I'm going to put our rails at the bottom, and then I'm going to space out the powered rails, but I'm going to put the redstone block that powers it above, so it's easier for me to keep track of, and then I don't have to dig down a little further here. And this corner here is where I'm going to start the operation, so this will be where we'll have an unloading bay for all of the copper, and then it's going to like snake its way through the entire system, which technically I don't have to do that, but since it's the way that I walk through, it's kind of easy to follow. It's done. It's actually all done. I can barely believe it. It's been a real slog to put in all of these rails, but they are actually down there underground. And while I've been building this thing, I have been checking up on the copper that's here and replacing some of it. So now is not a good time to do a test as, well, most of these blocks aren't ready to be harvested. Ah, but this one right here is, there we go, wonderful. Anyway, I'm wandering down to the end here, and this is where we have like a little pathway for me to walk back to the beginning, because this is where it ends up. And as you'll see, our line here, which needs a minecart hopper, has a button. So when I get to the end, that's when all the blocks will be on the floor after I've mined them and the water has pushed them out. So I press this button and it sends the minecart on its way. Now the key thing here is that it will come back automatically, and when it gets here, it'll sit on this rail waiting for me to press the button and walk all the way around to the other side. And by other side, I mean all the way down there. I mean, this part, just walking back and forth, is kind of slow. Maybe I could have laid this thing out a little bit better to overcome that, but for now I'm fine with it. So yeah, all of these blocks would be on the ground getting picked up by the hopper minecart, which will come this way. When I come back around here and collect the items, that's when I'll do another pass and then replace all of the blocks, leading me to the end again. But the trick here is that we've got a minecart unloader, so when a minecart with items sits on top of this hopper, it's then going to sit there until it's fully drained. All of the copper will be in the chest, and then it will go all the way back round to the end. And so now there is one thing for me to do, and that is to do more AFKing, more copper, and then in the morning we'll hopefully have fully oxidized copper down here to harvest. And while I've been working in the area, I have been, as you can see, you know, doing this in between AFK sessions, so we've still got a massive amount of copper to convert, but, you know, a fair few stacks are done already. And since the size of this farm was actually scaled for the amount of copper that we would get in an overnight session, I think the best way to deal with this excess is just to put it down manually. I'll probably have to do this a couple of times and then I'll run out of the excess and we'll just be able to use the system that I built in this episode. Well, it is now the morning, my friends, and look at this. Under 3 stacks of copper from around 9 hours AFK, and remember our farm down the bottom, it stores about 4 stacks. And I did a lot of digging back here to make a larger space for all of this temporary converting. But right now it's all about using this farm the way it was meant to be used. So I guess now is our test and moment of truth. I just hold down right click. This is it. Oh, and then we go forwards, adjust the angle slightly and move to the left. Okay, I'm a little concerned about how long it takes to go through that thing. But I think we're going to be okay, because now we've got all these items on the ground waiting to be picked up. Aha, there it goes. The minecart is picking all of the items up. So that might have been a bit on the close side, and I would definitely like to time that. And I was expecting to see some more here. So I just popped in with the camera count to count all the numbers again, and it looks like we're missing 8. And when I went through, there were about 2 or 3 that didn't have a block in them, so it kind of looks like maybe that minecart got just to the back here as these were despawning. So we need to definitely do this test again and time it as well, just to make sure all is good. But now it's the next thing, which is for me to just do that whole process again, but holding down right click to place all of this copper. So what's interesting is when I get to the end and I'm holding down right click, we go into this open space. Last time I was actually far enough away from the block that I just blocked with my shield, which was convenient. That time it didn't play out the same way. Alright, so out of 3 stacks I got 31 left, so it's just over 2.5 stacks in this thing. And in total it probably is going to take me about, 10 minutes to pop down here and run through all the motions. But we do have tweaks and changes to make, and if you've got any ideas, be sure to let me know with a comment down below, because we're not done with this project. And I'm not done with all of this copper. I still have stacks and stacks of the stuff that need to be oxidized. But we will be selling this stuff in the next episode of Hermitcraft. So thanks for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed the project, and I'll see you soon with another. Bye bye.